Is there a good time to keep track records of your spouse? Are there positives? Are there negatives? What are the side effects of keeping data? We're going to get into that today on this episode. I want you to keep an open mind to the conversation because we're going to give you the negatives, but we also hope that we can leave with some encouragement about some of the positives of keeping a track record. Let's get into it. What's going on, good people? Welcome back. Another episode, Summing Up with the Summoners. It's your boy Damon.
Katoya.
My beautiful wife. We're here today. Another episode coming your way here. We're recording this in January 2022. You know, before we do anything, we got to say thank you just for rocking with us. We appreciate that. That means a lot to us here. And as always, we got a review to share with you today.
We do. Guys, if you haven't given them, we're still interested in your feedback. So please, please, please leave a review. This one comes from J.I. Spree.
J.I.
That's the way I'm going to make that
it.
happen. And it's called, they summed it up. And 5 stars. Love this podcast. The Sumners are real. And they talk about things that most couples have the tendency to skirt over. Relatable, down to earth, and funny. Absolutely enjoy tuning into this podcast. Man, we appreciate you.
Wow, thank you.
Yeah, Damon and I have been having these conversations about who your people are. You're not everybody's person, and I had to learn that in life because I've always wanted to be everyone's person. And then there was freedom, and then I have lived my life beautifully. But we appreciate y'all. Those of you who have left reviews, you're our people, and you've expressed that we're your people too. So we really appreciate that.
Definitely.
And
Definitely.
yeah, I like to know that we talk about a relatable topic.
Well, that's one thing that when we started this, 2020 August, that relatability. We knew we weren't the only ones having these conversations.
Right.
We knew we weren't the only ones talking about these things. We knew we weren't the only ones getting into conflict about small things or large things, and so just trying to create dialogue and have healthy conversation. Sometimes it feels like one way, but we know y'all listening. We've received and been encouraged by your kind words and so on and so forth. So, we just know we're not the only ones. And hopefully you find encouragement with that,
Yeah, no, it is true. I mean, this is stuff that we deal with. And in seasons, first of all, I've been stuttering a little bit more. I'm about to work on it.
Get some water.
And I apologize, right? I'm working.
Wow.
Maybe I should add in that. And as I round it off a little better, it'll sound strategic. Okay, working on that. But in certain seasons and stuff, these type of situations really get heightened, I mean, our relationship will take the test of time throughout all of the time that we get to be with our partner. But realistically, there's seasons or moments when these get more real. So we're just here for preparation before it happens, or to talk about it after it happened, or be right here with you while you're during any of that.
Absolutely.
So we appreciate y'all. I'm good for beginning tangents.
No, it's good. I mean, that was just a great reminder of why we do what we do based off that review.
Yeah, it's true. So thank y'all. They mean a lot. They give us fuel to the fire.
Absolutely. All right, let's get into this here. I'm excited. Why don't you introduce this one here for us? We are excited about this. We're always excited because we always try to bring value and maybe some giggles and some joy to you here. But why don't you guys just jump into here about what we're getting into today?
Yeah, so today, this one is all about keeping the track record.
Ooh.
What does that mean? Well, what's a track record in sports? Do people keep track records or records?
For sure.
Or, what's the benefit?
Well, there's a couple benefits if let's just go basketball for example.
Right.
One, if you beat that team or lost to that team already, how you got beat by them, when was everybody healthy? Maybe you beat us, but we had 2 of our best players were out. Right? Things like all that plays a part, right?
Yeah.
So it gives you data so that you can have a strong argument or case about how we're going to win again or how we can be triumphant in the midst of losing from last time.
Man.
So it's helpful.
No, that was really good.
I'll tell you what I can.
That's actually absolutely hilarious because we didn't know I was going to do that. And I didn't know I was going to do that.
I was ready.
And I absolutely had no idea that his ideas are going to be like that. And it's so perfect because in a relationship, if you're keeping a track record and you take everything that Damon just said, it sounds a little weird and odd. Well, I'm doing this so I can beat this argument next time. I'm doing this so I can have better data for the next time we come back around for this. And I'm doing this because last time that happened, I was sick.
You know that.
It's the reality.
You don't argue with me right before bed. You know I'm sleepy after 9.
That ain't no good time to have that conversation. But it's true because it's natural. In sports, you're keeping records. And, kids have report cards. Like, you keep track of information to build up for data. But today, and I'm very good for this, and almost too good because Damon's like, why don't you introduce this topic? For some reason, this has become my topic, and I don't even know.
You had a lot of momentum going for this.
Well, because I am a track keeper. I am a record keeper because I do, but I also like to take assessment, right? Is this good? Is that going bad for me?
Great self-aware person.
I am self-aware, and I'm also aware for you, too. So I'm aware for us, right? And Dan was like, you're bringing this negativity, and I'm like, it's not negative. I'm just saying this is what I'm noticing. But I'm also tend to have a harder, I can be harder on, myself, and so I can put that back out into, anyone else at times, too. So I have to be mindful of that. But when I'm thinking about track records, I'm thinking about all of that. And so when you think about that in your relationship, that's what we want to tackle in today. Are there real benefits to this? Is this healthy? What are some ways that it can be healthy? And we just want to get into that today.
Yeah, we do. Track record. So, Katoya, like she said, the beautiful thing about two people is that they're different and similar. We both have good memories. They're just very different.
Oh, yeah. Well, I would never say mine is good.
You would. You wouldn't. And I would. Because you pull up good things at the right time. Small details, sometimes bigger details. Right, but you have that capability to hold on to that record, right?
I really appreciate that.
And
positivity.
That's how I live my life. That's how I live my life.
Memory.
So when we're talking about track records, Katoya said something before we started recording here, just to kind of give a little maybe clarity of the origin. If it's still track record still seems foggy. A lot of times a track starting to keep track is many times, not always, when you can feel like someone else is saying something isn't happening, right? So it's like, okay, well, I need to pull out my receipt book because clearly I'm the only one who's realizing this is going down. Now, usually, and I'm intentional with my words, we're going to unpack that more, it usually comes from a negative or harmed or hurt kind of sense.
I'm noticing something that I want to see improve.
Yes. And there's pros and cons to that as well because we want to see weaknesses become strengths and, things like that. So just to be clear as we get into it here when we talk about track record and relationship, that's not really necessarily lingo, right, that you might hear at the date with some friends on a double date or whatever case, reading in an article. But there is something that we could find benefit. And so, I think that's just something I want to just add that before we dive in of kind of be clear, what we think we're meaning when we talk about that.
Yes, and I do believe that it does start from this idea of noticing something. And for me personally, I try my best not to be a grudge holder. Okay. Because a lot of times track records.
Because that can be go ahead, yep.
Find themselves to come back into, well, when you did it last time. It's not so much that from my perspective, but I do know that it can go there.
So it could be a slippery slope to be holding grudge and leading to bitterness.
Right, exactly. Or or did you actually forgive someone? But I do it because I'm saying this. For me personally, in our relationship,
let's get into it.
It's when I'm saying one thing and then you're saying something different, and we both experienced it. Now I need support. Okay, I now need to collect data to convince you
get a checklist
of what I'm observing because you don't see it. And I'd like to say that it's very funny. I mean, my dad is
he's a tracker.
Oh,
your dad's Mr.
The greatest there has ever been.
Oh man, look at him.
But he is only for his own benefit. He does not see it on the other side, and he will voice record anything at any moment.
Voice record anything at any moment.
At any moment.
That's pretty deep.
Ever since he got an opportunity to figure out a record button
It was
on
a rap,
whatever
man.
device.
Voice memos.
Oh yeah.
Activate.
He'll record it into. He know that he's about to like cause attention. He will record it in a minute.
Bluetooth.
Yep.
Record. Bluetooth.
He'll go into like an office building and know he about to have a conversation about a bill. He'll walk in with it already recorded. This man stay ready to voice record interactions that he thinks he's gonna need to prove his point for later. So I'm laughing at that because I am very similar. Not with a record, but I'm ready to collect my data. Like I want to tally some things. On December 10th, I asked,
boom boom,
and you didn't,
bang, bang.
And then on December 31st, it happened again. You denied it. I mean, that's just, yeah. So
let's get into this is very funny. This is good. We're gonna have a good time today. Let's talk about the benefits here, right? And I want to start with you, and then I'll go after you here. But like, what all like legitimately, what is a positive benefit for a relationship that is desiring to be healthy to keep track?
I think it's good.
Records.
I think the benefit is growth, right? And to be on the same page.
Okay.
So if someone is saying they notice something and the other person is just unaware, this brings awareness.
Okay.
I think it is beneficial because it can bring awareness. I think it is beneficial because it can get you on the same page to noticing something that someone does not.
Okay.
See.
Fair.
So
Fair.
those are two benefits.
Those are good.
Do you have any?
I mean, I would echo those sentiments there. I mean, we are definitely about being on the same page. We're definitely about growth. We're definitely about healthy communication and conversation. So I would agree with those here. I think also when done well, when done with the right perspective, when done with the right heart behind it,
Intention.
Right? So it's like, even if you think about just an argument, just put this just a little side note here. If I come into this conflict with the goal to prove my point and to quote unquote win, I've already, in my opinion, kind of lost the end goal, right? The perspective,
good.
Right?
Yeah. So
if my track record is coming from a healthy perspective, then I'm like, okay, bet, right? There's two sides to every coin. That's just who I am as a person. I do believe that. So I do agree with that piece there.
And I do too. And I think that.
But it's got to have the right motivation.
To pull out. It's like there's steps to that, right?
To what? The healthy motivation?
With the healthy conversation around even your data or your collected track record, right?
Now, based off of that, we can probably also be honest that if we have to get to the track record, at least once there's been conflict based off of this situation, so that now we have to keep track.
It's true.
Contextually, there's already tension in the midst.
It is, and that's why it can always not be great, because when is anyone ever wanting to really have this dialogue about a problem when you secretly keeping track or whatever?
Oh, I know that. Oh, okay.
Okay. We're finna come here. But what I do believe is that, you can always have, it's like having plan A, B, C, and D.
Yeah.
So, you might have a voice record.
Okay.
You might have literal physical evidence of like a note where you keeping like, I
two
said
signatures.
this once, I said this again, I said this here. But maybe you first just said, hey, babe, I reminded you yesterday. Right? That's subtle. That's
simple.
That's a simple way. Oh, yeah, I was going to do it. Okay. Well, can't you make sure you do it by this time? For us personally, it's been about Windows, okay? And this is just getting into a scenario.
Let's get into this thing, baby.
So this is a present one. Damon has been raising windows after he works out.
I gotta keep
during.
it cool in here.
During.
Yeah.
And then when he leaves the windows open. First of all, it's winter. Second of all,
hot.
That is just like dangerous to me. Third of all, it is in a room that needs to like have some monitoring. And then
you think something needs monitoring?
Yes, it's the first room in our house. It's just I don't want to go to sleep with windows open.
Nobody wants to go to sleep with windows open.
Of our house, okay?
Nobody wants that.
And then before he works out, he can work out pretty late, okay? So, and I'm like, all right, like how soon after do you leave these windows open? And this is not even a new thing. No. It's just in a new room now. So formerly it was in our room.
Bedroom.
Which was like, okay, we're adults. I can, like, it was a problem because I would like wake up with a sore throat.
2 times. Yes. 2 times. Everything she said is accurate so far, and so I'm not going to stop it because she's going to stay accurate. We are going to different opinions, which is fine. But I want to be clear that
I don't know how I'm accurate with different opinions. I don't even know how that works.
Because of the timing specifically.
Okay.
Like you closed this window today, and I kept it.
Well, I closed that window today because I was cold when I walked in here.
No, this is true.
But you worked out here.
I didn't want to be clear about the 2 times.
Shortly after, right?
Yeah, and I knew we were going to record the podcast. I was like, let's get that funk out of here.
It's no problem.
I'm a sweater. I'm a stinker. So I keep that window open just purpose. I am not. I know what I am. So I want that air to get out. Just be clear. 2 times.
Okay. But no.
I did.
Okay.
I did.
Okay.
Leave it open through the night. Not okay.
Yes, and that was
in our bedroom.
In our bedroom.
Yes.
And so I'm already on that, like,
sure. Here we go.
Again,
here we go. Different windows.
Room. And we're not even in this window. We're not even in this room where someone can say, "Oh, it's drafty in here. The window must be up."
Yeah.
And it's again, a dangerous room, right? Like I feel like if all rooms. Any room in the front of your house should be closed.
Uh-huh.
So this is a one that's happening for us now.
Real.
So I just go behind and close the windows.
Yes, she does.
And I do that because I'm unsure.
Yes.
And it also is like past 10. So I'm like, all right, it's already 10. Mm-hmm. If these windows are not being shut down, I'm unsure if when he comes back in from comedy at midnight, he's going to think to walk in this room and close them. Yep. And either way, to me, that's already too late.
It's already too late.
So I have not actually written days, but I'm getting close. Mm-hmm. But we need to have one more conversation before I get there. Because I've expressed subtly and overtly, close the windows. Yes. Hey, I think that's too late.
Yes, you said that.
I even said mission, go in and just check every now and then.
I have not left it open late since you said lateness.
Okay.
I do think
and that's fair.
that I keep it open longer than you desire in general. Like today, you came into the room. Today, this is
real. Midday. It was no problem.
Right, and it was gone, but you closed it because you were going to be in the room and it was too cold, right?
Yes.
So it made sense. I knew I had a candle going and the window. I knew both of these things. So timing does play a part. Now, it could just be a thing, and we're giving it to you real live right here, where I just keep maybe the door open and I don't do windows. That's a solution. And with a candle, so just don't worry about the windows. Let the funk get out.
I know. I was like, I need to buy a fan.
Right. So there's some different solutions, right, to this. But you have been subtly since the bedroom been keeping a low track of that.
If I needed to pull out data because I had collected that, I would go there.
She would.
But the reason why is because he was consistently denying it. Like, I got the windows. I wouldn't do that. And I was just like, okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah. I'm going to have to take this up a notch because we're about to be here again. And I know it's a small problem, but it is important to me because of those reasons that I listed.
And it's also a small problem, but it does not, it can fester to become a bigger thing. It can lead to a bigger spat one day. It can boil over to a blowout.
Absolutely.
So it is, quote unquote, a smaller problem, but then also again, it's not. We talk about safety, right? So
because it's not the problem itself, as we always know.
It's not the problem itself.
Things are not about those problems; they're about the principle. This is safety. This is I'm asking you to do something, and I'm not sure if it's going to get
Am
done.
I listening to you? Do I feel heard?
Right.
All these things.
And so and I challenge y'all, even when you're thinking about the track record or that one problem that really gets y'all, what is it? Do you all both understand the underlying root of it? Because I think that also goes up there with the benefits. To understand some key pillars of the problem, so that you're not really focusing so much on the problem, but on the pillar about what category this is really affecting.
Yeah. So many times we go for the top of the iceberg, but if you know icebergs, that bad boy way bigger down low.
Titanic knows the icebergs.
Very well. Very well. We're gonna keep diving into this. We gotta pause for a quick sponsor break. We'll be back.
So I don't really love to cook as the primary cook in this family. However, what I do like is to jazz up the meals when I do cook, right? I'm looking for spices, seasonings, dry rubs, and I found a good place. It is Artisan Dry Goods made by beautiful Briny C. So a little bit of everything to spice up, jazz up your meal. It is a local store right here in Atlanta, but ready to ship out to you all over the world.
Absolutely. And they're legit. I'm going to be honest with you here. Forbes, The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon, and Oprah's magazine. And
Oh.
you know Oprah
Oh.
only gonna promote the good stuff. All right. So check them out. Instagram, beautiful Bryony C. Make your kitchen better. All right. I'm talking about real good ingredients, urban gardens, local farms. So it's good for your taste buds, good for your body. Check them out. And let's get to the episode.
And we're back. Please check them out. As always, let's keep digging deeper into this conversation.
Yes.
Because while we always have these amazing points for you, we also are just having the living room conversation. So in this scenario that we just shared about, like the windows, I see it being a good one, right? Like,
Sure.
we're on the same page,
Sure.
like we're understanding the core principles, and
Yeah.
I think we've dealt with enough surface level things to understand that, okay, this is a bigger thing, and I need to respect my partner in these bigger issues through following through on the small issue, right? You following through on this small issue helps us get to the root problem. So I feel like this is one that like goes well. I haven't had to dig too deep into a track record or anything, but holistically, the benefits help us get on the same page about making sure that like we're keeping the family safe.
Yeah, no, definitely.
And following through with that, because to me it's really just about safety and about like, I'm not even gonna go into lights and electricity and air coming in with heat on. That's not even the biggest problem. That's not my grandma problem, but it's really just the safety aspect for me personally. So we get to hit on that. Do you have any like ones that you can think of for me?
That's a good question. The only one that comes to mind is kind of an older one. So this is kind of a little tease. So in February, we're very excited. We're gonna have our first series. It's gonna be all month, all around one big topic.
It's our second series. We did the parenting series.
We did. Look at you. That memory, it come up when it need to. It's gonna be our second series, first one of the year. Very excited about it. Around 6 in February. And so, why do you bring that up, Damon? Great question. I think back to, we've been together for 16 years, married for 13, just in case your first time. Thank you for watching and listening. And so, like I feel like, and this is a random statement I'm gonna make, but I feel like when it comes to intimacy, it's been two different stories. It's been tell of two cities. First half, it was like you were the main initiator. I was trying to figure things out. Second half, it flipped, right?
Hop on them.
And it flipped this thing. And so
it's true. Now it's like lay beside me.
Thank you for your honesty. And so
lay here.
And so those first few years, especially in the first few years of just trying to figure out marriage, husband, wife, yada yada. It was a mental, tension at times of the second half when it flipped of the track record. I was like, all right, listen here. That was the third turn down. Okay, and I'm not gonna just say husband. I'll just say wife, because sex drives are different for every couple, right? But if you in this moment, in this season of your relationship, right, maybe you feel like you've got more drive at the moment, right? Then you could be like, oh, I know what you're talking about, Damon. Where you feel like, okay, all right, not tonight, cool, no worries, all right. Now give it a day off. All right, next day. Okay. Sleepy. I got it, right? And then you start going through. Head hurt. Okay. Works late. All right, that's 4. Okay. I fell asleep. That's on me. That's on me right there. You look up in day 7. You're like, all right, well, I know. I'm a whole week finna be gone in a couple days. I know that. I got that.
Damon definitely keeps a track record of sex. You keep a mental track record of sex.
It's not what it used to be. It ain't what it used to be.
He'd be like, well, it's been so many days. I'm like, dang, I didn't know it was like that.
Here's the thing. Here's a positive. When things are good, you like them and enjoy them. That's why I don't eat so much cheesecake. I know the last time I've had cheesecake, which was around my birthday, because it's so good, right? You want more of it. So you just keep a note of what you're missing out on.
I got you.
That's the perspective I walk with.
I understand.
That's all that is, right? And
it's
so
good stuff.
But that's the last one. You asked me about myself here. You asked me. I was like, that's the last one. When we flipped and the drive kind of changed. When it changed, that track record was there, and it was tough. And it led to frustration. It led to some spats here and there, and intimacy just in general. Unpack that more and have great conversations next month. But that's already a whole delicate and dynamic aspect of any marriage. So but that's the only one that comes to mind right now.
No, that is a good one. That is true.
Now, do you remember we did have one? Do you remember that year we had Katoya. It was one year Katoya and I, we read this stat about married couples. Do you remember that year where I'm going? And it was like the average married couple has sex like, I don't know, it was like 100 times a year. And we were like, oh, that ain't good. That's what we said collectively, right? So at the beginning of the year, we started tracking. Do you remember how we started tracking? You don't remember this?
12. 6?
Yeah. Oh. Do you remember how we started tracking though? We tracked together.
Yeah.
How we track?
With a heart?
We did. Hearts and emojis on the calendar.
Yeah.
You know?
So since I've started tracking again myself. But for benefit. Like I want to see.
What?
Yeah, well my app, I have an app. I'm really in tune with my body. And
in tune.
Yeah, we like had like a scare and my whole life is about to change.
Yes.
So I was like, you know what? I always track like my cycle, but I want to track sex too. So I did start tracking as of this month, but for good, like not for bad, like for good. Just like I want to know, did that happen? And it's specific. I was like, did you have an orgasm? Did you? And was it?
Did you?
Explosive?
Did you? Oh, they use
Did
the
you
words.
fake it? It has emoji.
They got all of the. They use
Let me tell you. Listen, I'm about to be in that space where I don't want to mention stuff if ain't nobody paying me, but it is Eve. Okay. And it's a good app.
We're gonna hit her up.
Yeah, no, it's a good app. But anyway, but it is good, and I just think there's benefit in keeping track for improvement, right?
For improvement.
And then on the flip side,
let's talk about the flip side for a second.
It can be negative when and I think Damon mentioned it earlier, where like the intention behind how you're tracking, or like, are you doing this? Like, I think it's negative when you take it from that sports perspective that you gave. Like, I'm doing this to win an argument. I'm doing this so that, you know, I can know how to beat next time. You know, like that is not the benefit of the track record. So if you are keeping track of something for your partner right now, and it's not for the holistic, like, well-being of your relationship, then it's no good. It's not going to be beneficial if it's just to win. It's only beneficial if it is to help them really have enlightenment on a situation that is important to you.
Yeah, those negatives are very. One, I think it's a fine line to cross. You know, going from positive to negative, because, like I said earlier, that bitterness, that anger, that entitlement, you know, it's just right there over that corner if that perspective and that mentality kind of goes too far, right? Yeah. You know, I just can even, I mean, for myself, like going back to what I said earlier, you know, just frustration, and it didn't lead. I'd rather in that moment, I wanted to be frustrated instead of trying to initiate conversation, initiate communication and dialogue about my concerns, my desires, my wants, right, and things of that nature. So I just kind of sat in it off and on, high and low, right, in and out, and it wasn't good. It wasn't healthy. It wasn't beneficial for us. So that was where the track record, you know, was used to a negative, and it impacted me, therefore impacting us, right, and so on and so forth. And so it's just really, you know, what we're not saying is that you need to be keeping a track record of everything. Yeah. That ain't you can't have time in the day for that, right? It's those few things that matter.
It's the core principle. It's all about, like, what is this really mattering to? Because there's many things that you can just brush off. Damon too did his own little horn the other day. Was like, you know what?
What I say?
You know, I think you said, like, in my old life, I would have felt some type of way about that comment. But you know what? I'm just gonna brush that off and move on. And I was like, great. Because and then it's just, there's things to bring to attention, and there's things that's like, this is not really a big deal.
There's so much you and your partner do that, like, could just you either not do or could be slightly annoying. Like, Katoya, as amazing as she is, she walks sometimes after the shower, and now the floor is a little wet. And then here I come, stepping in with socks. I'm like,
it's true. And so I do try to be extremely mindful. That really bothers him.
I'm not finna keep a track record in my phone with a new note on my pad here of when last time she had a wet floor. That's a small thing.
Well, and I think
what I do,
really,
I take a dirty towel, I wipe it up, and I get in the shower.
I think you only have to really keep the record when someone doesn't understand that it's happening.
That's true too.
Like
That's
I
true, too.
say, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
And like
Yeah.
at least you're like, okay, you're aware, so now I need you to do because you know,
Yeah.
right? But like, no, I
When
don't
they-
do that. Wait,
Whoa,
wait. Yeah.
Your footprint is
No,
here.
like we were just. There's nothing worse to me
Not
than
worse to say.
having a conversation with somebody and we just are like, we both experienced it and we have two different.
She don't like that.
I don't understand.
She don't like that, y'all.
You just said that, and David's he's good for this. He's like, I did not say that, and I'm like, God dog it. I just do.
You got ears, I got a mouth.
And I'm like, I don't understand. I just heard you say that. I didn't say that.
My words were clear.
I'm like, your word. People say things that they don't.
And people mishear.
And so these are. This is an argument. I'm better than this now because now it's gonna hit record because I'm not gonna have the argument. And I'm gonna have to pull my daddy out. Okay, pull my daddy and pull out the recorder
Pull him
and
out.
just get to the root of it. We both just run it back. Okay, I'll find the part. Then it'll be like you edited that. Okay.
All right.
All
Now I'm
right.
an audio engineer.
I care that much to edit.
Now I'm on Adobe Premiere working on 2 audio. Get out of here.
To win. You're too deep if it's going there. If
You're
it's
too
going
deep.
there, it's too deep. But I do think there's like there's value in it, but before you even start doing the track record, it's all about the way you communicate. And age-old practice of communication
Age-old.
is sandwiching what you gotta say.
Come on.
Being delicate in how you present it. You could tell someone the worst thing about them, but it's all in how you say it.
Delivery.
Right? And so, like I said, I do tend to be more on the negative side, and Damon is just kinder than me when it comes to that, and he puts up with a lot more things, and I'm like, I don't like it. But I also do it to myself, to be fair, right? Like, I'll do it to you, I'll do it to me, I don't like it. So it's not just a harp on someone else, it's also like just understanding that it's okay, right?
Yeah.
So if you're one of those people who just keep finding something to kind of like, moan about, you need to take a pause and just find if it's really something important to moan about, because that can just put a whole damper on the relationship, and then someone feels like they can never meet to your expectations, and now we're just creating another rift in the relationship, another hurdle to cross. So deliver it delicately, say something positive. It's important when you're keeping track records too to notice when something is done well, so you can celebrate that.
It is right there.
And not just focus on the negative. Man, you did close those windows today, right? Like, wow, thank you so much for doing that. I went in and I know you worked out, but like shortly after it was closed before the sun even set. So I knew that we weren't gonna forget, right? So like that makes someone feel good just as well as like that would make a child feel good. That makes an adult still feel good to be recognized for the positive and not for the negative. So you could deliver it well, you could sandwich it kindly.
No, I think you took both of my points. Thank you so much.
You can elaborate.
But no, I do. I just want to echo. I think we've said it before, and it's nothing new to you as well. Listening, there's just I think an innate. I don't know the science, but I feel like there's an innate thing as humans. I know. There's an innate thing as humans where we just lean towards the negative. We lean towards that easily with reviews and with gossip and just comments. And so if you could just track, like I would challenge us and you to like try to just track the positive, like for 2 days, 5 days, 7 days. Like just try to only track the positive and just get consumed of trying to find the good. Get consumed of trying to find things that lead to encouragement. You know what I mean? Because the bad, we can nitpick all day. The dishes, you ain't load the dishwasher right. Or, you staying up late. What, you on your phone too much. Like there's a lot of things that we may not love about the partner doing. But we could push ourselves, man. I think it could really be an impact this year and and so on and so forth about really trying to keep a track, like intentionally try to keep a track of something that they're already doing well or maybe that they're getting better at, and just pay attention just to see if that does anything to the health of your relationship.
I like it.
So
I like it. We're here for healthy relationships.
That's what we here for, yo.
Yep. And does that mean without tension, without error, without struggle? Absolutely not. We're human. But it does mean that we gotta try. If you trying to invest in somebody and you want them to love and invest in you back, well, then it's gonna take some work.
It's gonna take some work. Woo! We did it.
Yeah, that was fun.
Another one. That was a good one.
That's a real thing to me.
That's a real thing. Tracking. I like when you watch a show and they're in the woods and somebody don't know how to track, but one person do, and they put their hand down on the ground, take a sniff. There was a wolf here 2 days ago.
Like what?
Like, what the what? Went north. Okay.
Yeah, I'm following you.
All right, sir.
Listen, there ain't nothing wrong with data. Data collection is key. Okay?
Do it right, do it well.
Just present your data well.
That's it. Hilarious. We appreciate y'all, man, so much.
Always.
Listening, watching, wherever you are. We hope you're well. Hope your family's well.
Ah.
Damon and Couture here. I will say this, the conversation, you're having a good time over there on Instagram. Check us out, Summon Up Summoners, S-U-M, Summon Up Summoners. Thank y'all so much.
Yep.
Talk soon.
Damon's the real king over there, guys. So go follow him for sure. Go follow us. And enjoy the reels. I'll try my
Couture's
best
coming.
to join.
She's coming, y'all.
Yeah, give me some ideas. You're like, ooh, Couture, this would be good. Send that to me.
Send that to her.
I'm a little dry.
I'm about to give her a few today after this
Oh.
season.
Bye, y'all.